So what's up, guys? As you can tell by the title, I got me another Firefly guitar, and it took forever to get one of these guitars, and it took forever to get shipped to my house. I mean, the package was late, and that's nothing on Firefly, that's Amazon. Every time I order something from Amazon, it seems like the package is always 2 days late. So I finally got it in the mail, and let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing and take a look at this guitar. Now online there has been some miscommunication with the finishes, with the model of guitar. So let's see if I received the right guitar, because I am supposed to get a guitar like this one but with a tune-o-matic bridge. I'm going to be doing a comparison video in a later date, a Chipson versus a Firefly, to see which one has the better quality. So let's go ahead and pop this thing open. I'm kind of curious to see what this thing looks like. All the labels are correct, so let's see. And it comes in this box, and I'm not a big fan of that. I like when they're double boxed. Just this being like this box is a little beat up. I'm not a big fan of that. Even though it might have styrofoam in the inside, I don't like how this is packaged. Like I said, even though that it has styrofoam in it, I'm not a big fan of that, because something can still punch through this styrofoam. Got a little sheet there. Let's lay this over here. Comes in a box with styrofoam pretty much. So you get a cable and an Allen key. Let's see here. You want to keep this, toss this, put that in the garbage, because you're going to need this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Oh wow, okay. This looks like a real rosewood fretboard. I think they are supposed to have real rosewood on here. So it is a little cold. All right, let's see what the hang tags are. It says Firefly, find your stage, and it has the model FFDC, the checker QC04. The date says 20 September 2019, quality pass. Okay, so that's pretty neat that they're doing stuff like that. All right, let's take a look at the finish and everything. Now I'm not very picky on the finish of a budget guitar, just because it's, you know, $150 guitar, but okay, it does have plastic on the pick guard. I'm going to leave that on there for now. So this is pretty thin. This is a pretty thin body. It has a arm cutaway right here. There's nothing in the finish that I can see that is wrong. There is a little bit of gouges on the fretboard on the edge, which that don't matter because I'm going to be rolling the sides of that anyway. Especially down here, they got a little crazy with whatever they were using and went a little too far in. The tape line where the body meets the fretboard meets the neck, it's smooth here, but when you get down here, there's a huge tape line, and the finish is kind of chipping a little bit. No big deal. I don't expect a $1,000 paint job on a $100 and some guitar, right? So it has Grover copies. That's what it looks like. On the back, it has your serial number, designed and backed by JSN. The headstock. Now this one has the pneumatic bridge and it has a tailpiece. Ooh, that switch feels pretty good. The knobs feel okay. We're going to go to the bench here in a minute and pop the back plate off and see what it comes with. The neck is pretty slim. Not in tune. I wasn't expected to be in tune. The nut is cut really, really high. I have what feels like a plastic nut. Yeah, that's definitely plastic. So I have a plastic nut that has something on it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. Looks like a little bit of finish, maybe. Yeah. It's super high, so that's going to need corrected because your notes will be out of tune. I see they are using a updated pneumatic bridge. It doesn't have the retaining wire. This almost looks like a Goto bridge. This is what I use on all my budget guitars, the one without the retaining wire. So that is a nice upgrade, and it even has the faux turning wheels on the post, so that is cool. I'm really impressed with the hardware of this guitar. I'm really impressed with the fretboard, and I'm really impressed with the frets. The frets, you can see a couple high frets. The neck's going to need adjusted. I expect that a $3,000 guitar you get in the mail is going to have a setup. It's just all there is to it. They did a really good job putting the hardware on this guitar. I'm really impressed. For a $150 guitar, I'm getting a pneumatic bridge that's already upgraded for me. I'm getting a switch that has the thumb nut instead of a cheap, chrome looking nut. I feel like these are full-size pots. The way they feel really good. These pickups are supposed to be a lot better than the last P90s that they had, and they look really good. They actually look really good. So overall, the body and paint and the hardware, I'm impressed from what I see. The only thing that I'm not digging is the tuners. I don't like these style tuners on this style of guitar because they're faux Grovers is what they are. They need to go with the white buttons. It will look a lot better. It'll complement the nice hardware on this guitar. The only thing that just kind of throws me off and kind of like is when I look at these tuners, and you can just tell they're super cheap because mine's like really bumpy right here and they got grooves in them. You can tell they're cheap, okay? Another thing that I don't like, they haven't corrected yet, and this is just personal preference, is the angle of the headstock. This thing's almost straight, right? I don't like that. My chips in back here it has the right angle, and it in my mind it makes it have better tension, and it goes across the nut a lot better. So right off the bat, what I don't like is the pick guard. The pick guard is super chunky, it's super huge, and it's cut kind of poorly. This guitar has a really nice thin pick guard on it, and it's cut pretty good. This has chunks sticking off of it, and it's just really, really thick, and I'm not into that. The only other complaint that I have is the neck heel. I don't like that. That's too big. That looks like a bolt-on neck glued onto a guitar, because we used to do that and then sand it down and make it all into one. But this looks like a bolt-on neck for sure, glued into this guitar. And I'll show you what I mean. This guitar has like a Les Paul style heel, and this has like a Fender bolt-on neck heel. So that's going to get in my way for sure. And you can tell this is correct. Okay, this is Gibson correct. and you can tell how small it is. But I understand that they're not copying any guitar companies. They are being their own company, and I can respect that. But little things like this they need to address, because that's not very comfortable, especially when you're coming up here, because I usually play near the A minor pentatonic a lot, and when I'm sliding up here, what happens is my back of my hand is going to be catching that. So that's going to be a big complaint to me, or for me. The heel needs to be down here out of the way. That's the only thing that I don't like. The Rosewood fretboard looks really, really good. I don't get any black on my finger. A lot of times when you get a guitar with Rosewood and you still get stain on your finger, it's because of the buffing compound. They buff, I know some factories, not all, buff the frets and fretboard and all, and that's why you get that. But the frets are super, super silky, man. They did a really good job on these frets. I mean, it just feels really nice. It looks like it's strung up with the Dario strings. They feel like, I don't know, maybe 9s. That's what they feel like to me. Really not sure on that. But yeah, so let's go over here to the bench, pop this back cavity, maybe pop the pickup and see where the neck is in here. And we're going to get a close-up of this neck heel and why I'm saying that, because it just don't look right to me. And we might take out the pickups. So let's go ahead and go to the bench and see what's inside. All right, so here's what I'm talking about. As you can see how big it is right here, right? And how your hand's going to catch on that. So let me get a bolt-on neck off of the Epiphone. And this is basically what this looks like to me, right? But as you can see, a bolt-on neck would bolt in farther so that heel would be out of the way. So that's my only big complaint with this guitar. This bugs me, and I've tried to play it already at the higher frets, and my hand's wanting to catch that. So I might sand this neck down and actually sand this down and carve it to where I need it, because look at that. That's just a big block, right? Alrighty. Ooh, okay. So we have some cheap full-size pots. We have some really big orange capacitors there, I guess. Wow. Okay, full-size switch. Okay, I'm impressed with this. For $150, I'm impressed with this. For sure, I am impressed. You will not get a $150 guitar. You won't even get a Chipson with this kind of stuff in it. Really impressed with that. So let's flip it over, take a pickup out. So I'm detuning the guitar, and as you can hear that, I don't know if you can hear it. Really sandy-like. That's how the tuners are. They're really sandy, and they kind of want to jump around. But like I said, it's a $150 guitar. I'm just giving you my honest opinion in my honest review. A little bit of glue right there. The fretboard looks like it needs a little oil, and it looks like it needs to be cleaned up, but the frets I'm impressed with. So let's go ahead and get these out of the way. All right, we got the neck pickup out, and as you can see, the neck stops here. Here's the pickup. Just your basic cheap pickup, but they're supposed to sound better. So that's what that looks like. I'll have all the specs for this guitar, like the nut width and all that stuff. I forget I'm measuring it, how much it weighs, in the description below. But it's around 7 pounds is what it weighs. And as you can see how thin it is here, and you can actually see the carve now, which I like that. It looks pretty good. I really have a lot of respect for this guitar. This is better quality than the 335, okay? So let's go ahead and get the strings back on this and tune it up and see how it performs, because it can look good all day, but it's got to at least play good. I got to play this guitar a little bit, and I did a little bit of sound demos right there. And I must say, the electronics in the pickups actually sound really, really, really awesome in this guitar. For $150 out of the box, these pickups, these pots, and everything will do just fine. This is something I won't even have to upgrade on this guitar. I'm impressed with the sound. Now, it is a P90 style guitar, so you're going to get some buzzing. But that's with a higher end guitar or cheap guitar, doesn't matter. That's how a P90 works. I'm really impressed with the way this guitar plays too. But there's one problem. As you've seen there, I kept trying to slide down to the the A minor pentatonic on the higher scales, and what kept happening was my back of my hand kept catching the heel, because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having a chunky heel like that. I'm just not a big fan of that. They need to shave that down. Because I'm used to, like I said, that style guitar with the small heel. And that's the only thing that kept messing me up. But the frets are amazing. There's no buzzing. The action is actually really great out of the box. The fretboard is nice. There is some little bit of, where somebody kind of went a little crazy with a router or a Dremel or something. But I can correct that with beveling the sides of the fretboard. Not a big fan of the tuners. They jump around and they are kind of crusty, but what do you expect for a $150 guitar? The nut is not that great, but what do you expect for a $150 guitar? Now, what do you expect, for a $150 guitar? An awesome guitar. They're trying to do their own thing with the cutaway here. I don't know what they're trying to do with this, but I don't like that. But for $150 shipped to your door, this thing is incredible, okay? It's going to give the Chipson a run for its money, and we're going to be, talking about the Chipson and this guitar and which one's better. When we get to that video, that'll be at a later date, but I'm pretty sure this is going to give the Chipson and the Harley Benton a run for its money, for sure. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with this guitar. What more could you ask for? I would almost make this my daily guitar. I hate to keep complaining, but if it wasn't for that heel, okay, this feels really good in the hand. It's about 7 pounds. The neck is thin. I like a little bit thicker necks, but I can adapt to any guitar. Really nice finish. There's no flaws in the finish whatsoever. It's just an overall awesome guitar. So what would I upgrade? If someone asked me what should you upgrade on these guitars, I would tell you right off the bat, get you some different tuners. Right out of the gate, get some different tuners. Number 2 is upgrade the nut, because mine is plastic and super soft for some reason. And that's probably about it. There's nothing else to upgrade. You could get different pickups if you want, but these sound pretty cool. And if you're going to get a cheap set of pickups, there's no reason to upgrade, because you're going to get the same sound probably. Now, I don't know what these are. Now, you could change the magnets out if you wanted to, but I don't know if they're Alnico or ceramic. They're probably ceramic. And you can go ahead and change the the magnets out. That's what I would do before I bought new pickups for this guitar. But everything else is pretty awesome. So I give this guitar an awesome rating just because it's 150. Okay, here's the thing. Harley Benton was the leader in like budget guitars, right? And it's kind of cool to see somebody else come out with budget guitars that put their own little spin on things and make them even cheaper, and it ships from the US, right? So I'm really impressed with this guitar. I'm really happy with Firefly. I'm really happy with what they're trying to do. I love how they listen to the consumers. I love how they have people that test out things for them, and I love how the fans have a Facebook group. There is some guitars that slip through the crack that's not that great. What we have to understand is these people are trying to get these guitars out fast as possible, and people are just going to ship them out. That's just the way it is, right? They're not going to get rid of these guitars. They're just going to go ahead and sell them, and that's just the way it works. So you're going to get some bad ones. So far I've gotten lucky, and I'm impressed. So make sure you stay tuned on this channel. I'm going to be doing a versus video with the Chipson. I'm even going to do a blindfold test in that video to see if I can tell which one's different. And I'll probably have to keep my hands away from the upper frets just because I can tell right off the bat this would be the Firefly. But I'm going to definitely do a blindfold test at the beginning of that video, and I'm going to compare the two. And I have upgraded the Chipson already, so we're not going to do really like a sound comparison because honestly, like I said, we'll get into that in the video, but the Chipson hardware is not that great when it comes in the mail. So yeah, I'm impressed by this guitar. I recommend buying one. Totally buy one. I will probably do some modifications to this guitar in the future. I will be taking this tailpiece off, plugging the holes, and doing a wraparound bridge because that's what I like. A lot of people like this because they can't get them intonated and stuff like that, but if there's little tricks and stuff you can do if you know what you're doing to get them intonated. So I am going to be plugging these holes and getting a wraparound bridge. That's a later date. We'll be modifying this guitar for sure. I'm going to be doing big modifications to the guitar to make it, you know, my own. So yeah, buy one. I'm not trying to sell this to you. I know a lot of people get in my comment section like, you're just trying to sell this, you're paid by them, you get these guitars sent to you for free. I buy these with my own money and I review them because I know there's people out there that work hard like me and can't afford high-end guitars. The quality is great. Yeah, you might have to upgrade a little bit here and there, but this one right here just topped it off. This guitar right here was way better than this one. This one's been upgraded, but this one right out of the box is almost perfect. Get some good tuners and a nut on there, we'll be rocking and rolling. So leave your feedback in the comments below if you got one of these, and stay tuned. I got a Chipson back here that I will be doing a versus video with and talking about what the Chipson came with that was good and bad, and talking about what the Firefly came with, it will come with, and what was good and bad on it. So stay tuned for that video. I'm Ronald Jr., and I'll see you guys next time.